Our learning target is I can identify equivalent algebraic expressions. I got my letters mixed up. Hold on. I think whiteout is one of the most essential tools that I have because I make mistakes all the time. Okay, so I can identify equivalent algebraic expressions. All right, so first example. So equivalent means that they have the same value. And just like we did with our border task, you can tell that two expressions are equivalent by simplifying them completely and making sure that they are the same. Okay, because if they are equivalent, they will simplify to the same expression. So we're going to have a couple of expressions here. Okay, so our goal is to figure out whether these are equivalent or not. Okay, so what I'm going to do to figure out if they're equivalent, because if they're equivalent, then that means they're equal to each other. So I'm actually going to set these up with an equal sign between them. And then I'm going to simplify them simultaneously to see what happens. So if this statement is true, then these expressions are equivalent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify each side down to just the simplified expression to see if it's true or not. So here, remember, we have to distribute completely before we can combine any like terms. So I'm going to deal with this last part right here. I'm going to distribute that negative. Okay. Now I'm going to flip-flop back and forth. Or actually, we don't have to. I guess we could simplify this one completely and then go over and do the other one. So let's do that. Now 30x minus x is 29x. And then I'm left with my minus 140 and plus 4. Now I can combine these like terms right here. So this is going to be 29x minus 144. Okay, now let's give our attention to that other expression here and see if we can't find out whether or not these are equivalent. So this is going to be 30x, because I'm distributing here, minus 140, and then minus x plus 4. Now check it out. I can already tell that these are going to be equivalent because this is exactly the same, okay, on that step. But I'm gonna go through the process anyways. I'll combine like terms. This is gonna be 29x minus 140 plus 4, and then minus 144. So since these are equal to each other, we can say that these expressions are equivalent. Okay? So really, all we're doing is we're setting two expressions equal to each other. We're simplifying completely to see if they're equal to each other. Okay? So I'm going to do one more example and then I'll have you guys practice. Okay. So are these two expressions equivalent? Okay. I skipped the whole process of writing and. I just put that equal sign right there so we can check it out. Yeah, Joe.
Isn't minus 140 plus 4 equal to 136?
Oh, did I make a mistake? Oh, yes, actually I did make a mistake because look at this is plus 4 right here and I accidentally switched it to minus. Thank you for catching my mistake, Joe. So let's So they are equivalent, but I just made a mistake on that first one. Sorry about that. All right, so let's carry on here. Whenever we're simplifying our expressions, we're going to distribute first. So this is going to be negative 5 times negative 2r, which will be positive 10r. Then negative 5 times negative 13 is going to be a positive 65. And then we're left with 5r. Now we're going to come over here. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 2r is going to be 10r. And then 5 times negative 13 is going to be negative 65. And then 5 times negative r is going to be negative 5r. Okay. I can already tell. What are you going to tell me, Aiden?
I was just going to say that. Aren't they already equal? Do you have to finish it?
So they're actually not equal because this is plus 65 and this one's minus 65. But you can already see that these are not going to be equivalent because everything is the same except for that term. So chances are these are not equivalent to each other. But yeah, like this one, you could see really early on that they were equivalent. Same thing here, you can already see pretty early on that they're not going to be equivalent. But let's just simplify them completely to make sure. So 10r minus 5r is 5r, and then I'll bring down my constants. I do prefer to combine my variables first, so that's why I do that. And then 10r minus 5r is 5r, and then I'm going to bring my other variables down. Okay. Now I can combine my constants on this side, so this is 5r plus 75, and this is 5r minus 55. Okay. They are completely simplified, but you can see that they are not the same. So we can say that these expressions are not equivalent. Okay. How are you guys feeling about this? Pretty good or okay? If you don't know how to simplify expressions, like maybe you're gone, you didn't keep up with your schoolwork while you were out, you might be in a little bit of trouble right now because you really need to know how to simplify these things to be able to tell if they're equivalent or not. But if that's you, you just need to talk to me about it so that we can make sure that you're good to go. Okay. So let's get some practice. I'm gonna skip the whole part of writing and. I'm just going to write out the problem and with an equal sign so that you can see if both sides are equivalent. those out and see if they're equivalent. If you need anything, I'm walking around and I'm happy to help you. What?
Can you zoom in?
Yeah. Is that better? Can you see okay? So what'd you guys get? Was that first one, were they equivalent? No. Was the second one equivalent? Neither of them were. Oh, interesting. I'm just going to quickly go through and simplify these. Ooh, these were really close. Just one number off, right? So that one's a no. Good. Let me know if I make a mistake along the way. I wouldn't put it past me. Yep, you're right. They are both a no. All right. So tonight for your practice, you're just going to be doing 5 problems like this to see if they're equivalent or not. And if you're at home, email me if you have any questions.